I know it sounds crazy. Nobody wants to wake up one day and find out they're a sleeper. Is it me? It's my fault? Because it was like there was a 15-year period when somebody could have been like, hey, have you seen this girl? Instead of being like, hey, you want to sell coke? Sell cocaine? I'm connected with a huge... Really important that you do, because we already connected it to you and your family. Nobody bothered to say that. Instead, I just got, like, mocking, like, I accidentally slept with a dude. Don't let them push you around. Don't let the bastards get you down. It's got to be ink on paper somewhere, because I got, like, diaper heads from the Devil's Playground coming up to me at work. No, he didn't explain, but now that I'm aware, until I saw someone with no valid reason known to me actively attempting to make me get myself killed, I had no reason to, like, even, I hear all this the bullshit, and I'm like, what am I supposed to do? Ask you if that's intended for me, and if so, keep trying? Give me something to work with? Like, makes no sense. Yeah, okay, I hear you talking about exactly what I did last night, and you talking about something like, I ought to know. You just assume that your subject wouldn't go handle it if he knew. This approach to allowing our greatest natural enemies, oh, but they're the good Taliban, to just finance you like some kind of reptilian Martian robot colony. God forbid somebody else get elected if you accidentally investigate something. Alright, these guys are, I mean, they're not, like eyeballing me. They're talking about like something, they're justified. But the climate, the environment, the atmosphere wants me to get myself in trouble with them. Nothing like that happened around here, so we're gonna go look into it 4,000 miles away. Fleeing's an admission of guilt. Well, I mean, nothing. If you'd actually asked, I'd have had no reason not to just be like, yeah, I'm not just gonna render unto Caesar. Why are you saying you sent him? Is that what you're saying? You're so stupid. There's just no way to, like, stop, like, prevent them from stepping on their own dicks. Yeah, I was scared. I was confused. I was convinced. I dropped in at the fish market and said I was going to be out of town. I had to look into something. And the wicked flee when none pursueth, but the righteous are bold as lions. Fleeing's an admission of guilt. There was a big accident. The wicked flee when none pursueth. There has to be someone along the way qualified to say, wait a minute, is this the right chart? You got Port-au-Prince trying to crank it up to 11 before anybody finds out what they're up to. It's still all our same jinglehead zombie apocalypse, but press secretary, Mar-a-Lago staff, they're everywhere. We are vastly outnumbered. The reason you don't notice them is they work. They have jobs. They have guaranteed. The Mexicans are stealing our jobs because they don't speak English, and we can't say anything about that. Why can't you say Baptists need jobs? No offense, white Baptists. We can't find anybody in our price range to be like, the Haitians are stealing Baptist jobs. Black Lives Matter. Hey, you're new here. Don't lead my Baptists astray, please. Seducing them against their own best interest. In case you didn't notice, America First is actually a KKK slogan from like the 50s. Black Lives Matter until somebody expensive decides they don't. As long as the KKK is overtly campaigning for the GOP spot, well, we'll just go ahead and say no lives matter. How'd they get in here? What they do, pull biology out of high schools? That's why I'm Antifa at this time. I wasn't Antifa before, and I won't be Antifa after. But for now, I'm Antifa. It's just a temporary state of being against all that bullshit. I wasn't born Antifa. I was born anti-disestablishmentarian. So I was against all this bullshit before it started. So you say it went down something like that, which only happened once, and it was somebody like that, which ain't this one. So it must be, eliminate the least unlikely. If I don't care if they're the ones threatening me, okay, well, I'm not going to fight. Obviously, something's gone terribly wrong. It's like a cartel, and there's this whole narrative that the CIA cops, like, they just go around snitching on people. I'm like, well, this level of technology, it better be the CIA. Listen, Hugo, just don't do anything hasty, all right? I brought everything I own, everything I could borrow. I'll cut my finger off just for chit chat. Now, it was the old corporate whammy, the Zimzam at one point, running around looking for cues, leads, answers, questions. I got a cue to an exfil, I guess, or a meet, whatever, at an abandoned complex. So I'm there, I'm waiting, I'm like, lights, and they sent an Uber to the wrong location. I wish I had a dash cam because I'd have gone viral, but if I get paid, I'll do it again. I was like, wait a minute, you're not paying me the backwards money with the Chomo dollar and the bioweaponized Chomo Rushmore dollar. Give that to Trudeau. He can hold on to that so I don't accidentally kill him in the meantime. Look, I'm sorry, Mr. Prime Minister. I definitely wanted to just fight you. Just for the benefit of the crowd, for the children. Because obviously weight class never mattered before, huh, pal? But I think you should abdicate your heretical imperial throne and make amends with your wife. That's messed up. They are not with me. We're not affiliated. And really, the idea that we would have to be is ridiculous because I already traced the damn thing to the Saudis. Yeah, the whole Cambridge Analytica thing, I was there. I saw it. I seen it. Meanwhile, I'm trying to report crimes. And, the government is almost communist in its organizational pay scale structure and thing. They don't just take your money and give it away. And what did I do to deserve such liberal interpretations? For one thing, I was talking to a hostile plant. Doesn't matter that I worked for him. You never seen this done? Are you a cop? Am I a cop? I don't mean to disparage the institution, but this whole setup's technically illegal, and I mean, bigger fish to fry. Do I feel to you, dear viewer, do you get the vibe from me that I am with any of them? Washington. Yeah, it wasn't me. I didn't do it. Well, I mean, I might have said it, but I didn't sign it. Oh, electronic signature? I'll just stick that electronic signature in his mouth when I bury him. What I do, watch. Traitor? Oh, the flag is a dirty rag they use to hide their mistakes. Prove me wrong. Bunch of Canadians and homos down here talking about, like, yeah, that's our flag too. You can get back in your boat. Back in your boat? Doesn't make any sense. If you're a Catholic, you'd understand. So I substantiated a green light from some Just Add Water instant criminal organization. Greenlit. Well, it was obviously the doctor. I saw him do it. So I go to sue the doctor. But the lawyer's like, nah. He took me for 5 consultations before I was finally just like, let's just go. Now that we're clear that like there was definitely something bigger going on, right? So me having looked into it and everything, and still there was the doctor. First, I shall do no harm. Me, right? Okay. Doctor enough for the likes of you. It was the alleged doctor. Why do you end up on the cover of a major legacy publication? Whatever. This is why I went to Blackwater. They're grown up, stupid birds act like they know everything. You didn't see me go to Blackwater? What? Oh, was it not the official? Did I not go in the front door and demand to speak to the management? Yeah, I turned Google off so they wouldn't get in trouble. That's how I roll. That was me. I did it. Therapist. The greatest rapist who ever lived. So that happened, and I told somebody, and I was like, quoting Proverbs, and there was an accident obviously happened. Ghetto bird flying around my motel window. one of your stupid zombies, I don't know what you call them, investigator, I probably just call him a plant, comes out, he got the sticky icky. Yeah, thanks, alright. So that's done then. Try to call a taxi, and like, a taxi never came. Oh, it was an Uber. Well, I wanted a taxi. Okay, I called taxi. I go, and again, taxi number. Oh, it was an Uber. I want you to call me a taxi. So I go outside, and I'm like, hey, are you my ride? She's like, I'm just waiting to watch you get shot. Have we done business? There was a staged incident prior, and it was ugly, but it was staged. You don't believe me? Ask her. Tell her, like, it turned into a thing, and you need her to tell you the truth because you're gonna be deep shit. She's a woman. The whole like Islamic ritual suicide thing don't apply. Technically, the whole signing a contract thing would imply it won't matter when they get here. I just picture some homosexual renegade Jew, some anti-kosher. He's not allowed to go home, trying to swindle King Solomon into agreeing to just hoodwinking our women. Is that legal? If you think it will work. So only they have to honor the contract. I know, it's incredible. Women are allowed to write? Anti-fascist. I know you were conditioned to believe all anti-fascists were left-handed. Couldn't be farther from the truth. I know in the past I was a lot more chill, easy going. Now there's fascists. Make a choice, kid. Black Lives Matter. You say so. I mean, we can all be anti-fascist. Some of us don't get to be black, unfortunately. Now it's just gonna be, all right. So now it's the black ones, the BLM, Black Lives Matter. They're cool. They got Black Panther, and Antifa is the fucking fags again. My fault. Lean into it. Let's see what you got, news team. Everything I owned, everything I could borrow. 4,000 miles. Running around like I am not here on any specific business. Tell me everything you know. Anybody see a grown-up? Hanging out in front of the place for hours. I'm like, I'm here. Everybody sees me. Everybody definitely, like, everybody knows I'm here because this is one of those places. Unbeknownst to me, the Canadian runt investigators, the Nazi false test tube baby transplant agency that takes precedent. That was their investigation now. Can you call the CIA? Can you call Blackwater? Can you call the fucking cartel? How come my wishes only come true when I'm lying directly to your plant, who has already discredited himself? That's your boss? He's in prison. Is there another? Yeah. So if I was spitting game to a hostile plant, that's not contractually obligatory. Try to remember what I said so I can explain how technically, in the meantime, after running all over the west coast of creation, I left. There's a couple more interludes, a hospital visited, some jail time. So what's that, three or four hospitals. Am I like supposed to give you my real name? Okay, well, I need emergency minor surgery, so my name is Noel D. Smith. And I get arrested like a couple hours later, and called and told them about it. And they did surgery on my ass. I had to get one of those big man-eater cactuses removed. I had just come from the redwoods, and I still wasn't, like, you know, geographically attuned to the desert. There's a big black bull in the nature preserve making noises. I'm like, that's a bear! Nah, I wasn't tripping. I just had my hands full. I told them I went to jail, and they cleared the whole $800 bill. And $800, that ain't bad, New Mexico, for digging in my ass with a scalpel. I mean, you know, I guess it's worth a sidetrack. Like, this wasn't no pet cactus we're talking about. This one is designed to hurt you before you can even come close to hurting it. I felt bodily full weight on my proboscis into this. There wasn't no decorative cactus, kids. Anyway, I get home and I find out that Oakland's finest raped some poor young lady after she sat next to me on a bus 7 years earlier. And I saw the article, the phony sketch dressed like me, on the cover of the local rag the next morning. I was like, that is in poor taste. Never imagined it would have had anything to do with something that really happened, because I don't think about stuff like that. Never imagined such evil existed, let alone doing me some kind of favor. Yeah, I'm not a rapist enough for the cool kids in Oakland. No, I definitely want, I mean, we've made strides. I need to see that finalized, or at least, you know, maybe see some kind of what? No, I got it, kid. What do you mean come back there? Then your launch malfunction, teacher? Yeah, I wanted the whole thing. I wanted all of it. Well, there's one. At least it, you know, worked a little bit. This is your thing, right? Can you hear me now? See where a guy might get a little 8,000 miles round trip. Then there was the other thing before I even found out about 2007. Never occurred to you that maybe that has something to do with it. Like, she knows I didn't rape her, dude. No, yeah, I can handle it from here if this works. This is your thing, right? Well, you go ahead and you handle it. Why do I have to come? Why do I have to come there again? I didn't even know about it till I got back here. I mean, that's like 1 for 3. So far, my odds are much better. Incidentally, that newspaper has changed hands since that. I don't know if you look into things. Somebody just does all this for you. Has changed hands, not names, which tells me it's still goddamn cops. I mean, if she sat there and coached the sketch artist through a phony picture of a Mexican dressed like me, like, now she wants, you know, this vendetta. Oh yeah, this guy, he doesn't get to, he doesn't get police. No, I definitely carry it, and with right, you feel me? No affiliation at this time. I'm a doctor. Well, how come you forgave that guy? What do you, I mean, are you gonna tell me what? You may as well tell me whatever, because it's not gonna be exact, and then you act like you saw the whole thing, and I'm supposed to do something about it. Wasn't even there. Know so goddamn much. It's a government, well, formerly a government program. I mean, it might still be government on TV. Used to flush shady characters, but it took some folks, you know, justified folks trying to kill me for me to give a shit. It's one thing to have some schizophrenic, somebody confused, mistake you for somebody, but I mean, justified, like working class, you need to look into that. And I wasn't so forthcoming at the time. I was just like, yeah, we're not affiliated. And they're like, that's disrespectful. I was like, we're still not affiliated. I don't mean any disrespect. You owe me a favor, okay? Because I didn't snitch or anything, and obviously I don't work for the cops. Whatever. I presume you rolled deep for a reason. Nah, just keep the game tight, son. Roll solo. You gotta worry about somebody forgetting to tie their shoes or something. We got doctors intentionally misdiagnosing patients because it's no longer the government. This is corporate cranking it up to 11. So they'll just write up just however much insanity you think you can fit on that one, and they're like, hit them and see what sticks. Well, whatever. This too shall pass. Okay, so that happened, and you're threatening, like, cops? These cops? For what? But nah, it was a little more personal, less stupid. Had to look into it. It was just a frame job I didn't know about yet. Washington. I'm selling more space shuttles. Yeah, hey, corporate. Hey, Walmart, is your dad home? Is Humana there? Hey, Umbrella Corporation. Do you want something? Ask me anything. I'll go off commission, percentage. None of that snitch coin. I try not to encourage that sort of behavior. buy a weaponized Chomo dollar trying to take Jackson off. Why don't you just bring back the $2 bill? Put H.W. Bush on it. This is all Ben Franklin's fault. He's the one that traded British oppression for French. You know, he would take Jackson off. You know, NBC didn't have agency. They had a photo. If they weren't so goddamn gullible, we'd have Australia and half of China by now. Sounds crazy. I don't know. Are you a doctor? Stupid people always think smart people look like crazy people. And being a fucking retard's a form of insanity too. If something can be destroyed by the tree, it probably should be. Because, I mean, if it was classified, why didn't you hide it better? Somebody's liable to think you just say that. Like, oh, it was a leak. A leak? You leaked it. Nah, I don't take leak money. I don't take 84,000 Boy Scouts molested so we could blame China for a global pandemic. I'm not signing for that. So snitch money, like, if I got to get in the door, I know you don't care if it's anything. So okay, well, that was some crap. Like, it's a multinational double homicide. That's what's your problem? Are you angry with me for trying to get a cut of your end? I gave you the damn. I mean, what are the Saudis gonna do about it? Get confused? Give me my money. Somebody was testifying and entrapping Washington. Blink twice if it's a hostage situation, Washington. You ain't got the stuff to. It's called pushback. Return to sender. Obviously, it didn't happen. Even if it did happen, your electronic signature in your mouth. You see, kids, the news doesn't get to just accuse Washington of whatever is hot, so that the Saudis can just steal it and they get a cut, or they get left alone. They're allowed to live. Not always the Saudis, but I mean, that's where the king is. If you wanted to throw a monkey wrench in the rest of the operation. Is it regicide? Majesties, hey London, Majesties and Lords, Your Honors, Sir, Ma'am, Other. Is he a descendant of the prophet? The only prophet or the final prophet? Well, if it's the religion of God, does that mean that he's responsible directly for all this, or all his other friends are God? It's already no due process, Washington. The Allah's in a hurry, trying to buy his way out of hell. But do I feel like I'm affiliated with these people? Do I feel like these people? Or more like maybe you people? Yeah, I was messed up. You left me OTF for 15 years. Going on 20. I'm not signing. Well, who is it? I don't care how much you owe him. Kill him. I'm not signing. How about now, partner? That's not an order or anything. I don't tell the president what to do. Just tell him to get back in his boat. Figure it out. Go back to Canada. Yeah, all the gays, they're my fault. Somebody mistook me for born that way and then screwed with me for 40 years. When I say the legal age of consent to marry in America is 7 years old for same sex, what I mean is 84,000 Boy Scouts. Who's making sure all the class action, they're not just making you pay out of our ass and then keeping it? Don't let me track down one of those other Boy Scouts. Watch me find out he didn't get his either. You know, we're grown now, man scouts. Have you all tied in knots, starting fires. OTF. 15 years by the time somebody finally motivated me to show them a little bit of the old razzle dazzle. And then they said my protection ran out because they staged the incident or whatever. She bruised herself. You know. What happened to you? Oh, my boyfriend. Not to my face. Her dad still gave me a ride. The church forgave it. I ain't forgive it. It didn't happen. Ask her. Well, you don't know where she works? You're probably in her business. The one girl did apparently, she did get raped, because I know, like, they put a sketch in the paper, and then they dressed her up like maybe she was asking for it. This has to be, you know, justifiable excuse. That's the police religion of the world. This is good enough for government words. I mean, when you're delivering the evidence at the point of a gun, it has to be pretty blatantly, just obviously ridiculous for someone to be like, no, I'm not giving you any of this free money that I just steal from people. Somebody might notice. Somebody else might know how this works. Well, okay, so I wasn't saying that, well, I mean, they were finding bones in the Air Force dump, okay? And if you, in Vietnam, I don't know. Hearsay. I wouldn't even say it was a veteran I heard it said by. But anyway, the logical place to put it would be in the casket, so you're not taking out like boxes. You bring caskets all the time. I'm sorry that you got, like, somebody born yesterday was like, oh, I never thought of that. Caskets, bones, and a... Okay, so they said the bones are from the incinerator, which is, well, whatever, they cleared it up. So you still have, there's some reason you're still mad at me. I was saying about our boys, worried about your goddamn flag. See, we'd be Christians about this, or we could other. So let me get this straight. You're gonna take this heap of shit from these scrawny little pukes just because they can route it through Russia. No wonder they're sneaky. I took everything I had and everything I could borrow, 4,000 miles one way, to go and try to comply with the new apartheid space cartel. And it was just, you know, it's just raping me. So whatever, I came home a roundabout way eventually. Yeah, well, okay, so immunity would be that guy, and there was misfortune. Yeah, no, I'll definitely pay for that. That, you want your name on it, Jerusalem? I'll put both of us. Who else wants to sign? Tragic, terrible. I mean, even if you were like a fascist, like a white Christian supremacist nationalist, just total right-wing nut job, would you just be like, yeah, I'm a Nazi? Like, yeah, Nazis have been planning this for 80 years. And like, he's racist. If you'd have said something, like, we could have saved a lot of trouble, mostly for you. Yeah, it sucked. All those years, getting just like jabbered at by idiots. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not gonna feed into that false narrative so you can see what you can do about it. Meanwhile, nobody's saying jack about what actually did it. Oh, did you forgive it? Well, just let me see the paper. You got a piece of paper? All right, so I'm not paying for that, guys. 20 years ago. But no, so after 15 years, it's just basically psychological coercion, which is technically a war crime, because people are actually dying, and I'm unaware of anything I could do about it, and then come to find out, oh, it's about something I didn't do that used me to connect it. You want to know who that actually was? It's still expensive. It might not be as expensive as fucking the Pentagon and the Vatican. Solve a lot of problems all at once if you knew who actually did it. Nah, it's not allowed. I'm ugly. Sorry. Thanks for bearing with me this long. So yeah, it wasn't a total waste, but whatever excuse you had for not actually investigating, like, now it's your fault because your foreign immunity lapsed. I gotta pay for that at least? Alright. Whoa, peasants. Are you gonna bring charges? Bring charges. I'd have gotten paid by now if you just bring charges. A lot of Germans would feel a little safer if you just go ahead and let me wrap this up. Would everybody who's not a Nazi like to co-sign? Raise your hand if you're not a Nazi. You read me, Washington? Washington. Earth to Washington. I have sent you numerous letters, messages. Every time I call, it's, are you suicidal yet? No, actually finding out that you're under attack by pseudo-psychologists kind of cures the depression all at once. Can I talk to somebody representing a government? Just shut them all down? So you can figure out what the problem here is. Figure out what the problem is here. We're gonna have to shut all the governments down. This is taking longer than we expected. Are you like, can you not get another job? Are there no other jobs? It's just behavioral health counselors for Messenger of Allah? Well, I guess we won. We won, everybody. Islam is so stupid. Most other religions, like, you're allowed to read books. It's not against God's law to read God's word. But with Islam around, all of a sudden, see, it works just as good if you can't read. Just bludgeon people with it until they hate it. But if it wasn't for Islam, I mean, would we even be fighting? Yeah, we'd have our petty squabbles. He forgot to pay. Escalation. I already didn't like that guy. I don't know about world wars. You ever have a world war before? Yeah, I know, this is not. It wasn't Turkey's fault. It wasn't Turkey's fault in the revolution. It wasn't Turkey's fault in the Civil War. It wasn't Turkey's fault in the First World War. 5 years later, now, the Saudis, it's a new one. Completely, they turned over a new leaf. World War II. Why are you really here, Saudis? What are you doing? What are you up to? You're up to something. It's just a religion. Oh, okay. But these are the good ones? So yeah, kids, if, we'll do it this way. If you made it to the end of this video, and you don't want the world to end tomorrow, share it and send it to, I don't know, just to show your grown up, whatever, show your friends, your teacher, you know, anybody, like a government, or you, is it against your religion to send it to the government? And then if you do want the world to end tomorrow, share it to, if you're the type of person that actually does want the world to end tomorrow, you're on Quora, so share it to Quora. Reddit, yeah, there's probably a group for that. Whatever, try to deliver this message to human hands. My name is Noel D. Smith, single, straight, no kids, never married, no abortions, no abominations, no divorces, no bankruptcies, formerly decorated so-and-so with the yada yada, etc., so on and so forth, airframe, triage, religion, other stuff. And then if you're a doctor, or you'd like to be a doctor, a real one, go to mfrodeo.blogspot.com. My first rodeo, my firstest rodeo. I can't wait. Aren't you excited? First, I shall do no harm. And then, I mean, I didn't forgive it. Pay me.